What was the name of your little lawn mowing company?
The Lawn Wranglers?
What the heck? I thought Larry was going to be here.
He only shows up sometimes.
I think he's grading some papers right now.
Whatever.
Welcome to the Wrangler Roundup, episode 2. I'm here with my co-host Brad and our special guest today, Ellen Walker.
Yeah,
Round of
Ellen.
applause for Ellen.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Ellen is a PT guru to the Wranglers, 17-time marathoner, 20-plus half marathoner. We've lost count.
Yes, we have.
She's a wife, she's a real estate mogul, mother of 3, breast cancer survivor, ultra runner, martial artist, and our good friend, Ellen. We
Thank
could
you.
go on and on, honestly.
Yeah, we had to edit some stuff out.
But thanks for being on the show.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
You were just out of town for a ski trip.
Yes, I was.
Where were you at?
Jack Frost, Big Boulder,
Oh,
in
okay.
Plain, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So my sons live in Connecticut and we live in Ohio. So we just looked at the map and said, there's a center, meet
That's
us there,
the
go
spot.
skiing.
Cool.
Yep.
You
So
guys ski a couple
it was
days out
great.
there?
Just Saturday.
Saturday.
Very rare Sunday, but we just did Saturday. My husband got on the slopes for the first time in 28 years.
Oh,
Wow.
how did that go?
It was good. It was
Yeah.
good. He stayed up for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
You never lose that. It's
Yeah.
like riding a bike, right? Kind of.
True.
All right.
So, Ellen, you also recently ran the Houston Half Marathon.
Yep.
How did that go?
It was good. It was good. Probably one of my best races in a long time. I felt good the whole time, felt strong the whole time. Didn't tank at all. I was passing people at the end, just flying in.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
The
Yeah,
time wasn't great, but I felt good. So.
well, it's fun to be passing people at the end. That
It
makes,
was,
I
it
mean,
was.
it's a good
It
race.
was,
So,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
cool. And you've done that a few times, right?
Yeah.
What?
Well, this one was special because it was my 7-year anniversary of being cancer diagnosed.
Okay.
But I've done it every year because my sister lives in Texas and it's away. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
the youngest of 7 kids and she's 11 years older than me. So
Okay.
we never really knew each other, and I had to go
Yeah.
out of my way to spend time with her.
Yeah.
So I would go there and I ran the fall the first time, and then my husband and I would go back and do halves. So,
That makes sense. Yeah, so you're visiting family.
yeah,
Are you going to go back again next year?
probably not.
Oh, okay.
It's a big marathon, 28,000 people.
Whoa.
It took us a long time to get to the start. I'm not crazy about that.
Yeah.
I don't like having to wait in line to get a drink.
Right.
You know, I'm sure you guys are on the fast side, but when it gets slower, it's you're waiting in line literally to get
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
water stop. It's just not fun.
It's getting a little too big, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay.
How was the weather out there this year?
It was beautiful. For me, they didn't think so. It was 35 at the start.
Oh,
Got to be 50 in the end. It was
oh
great.
nice. Yeah.
They were,
Yeah.
they were throwing parkas on and
Uh-huh.
chilling, and I was like, this is wonderful.
Yeah.
This is perfect.
Great
And the world
conditions.
record was set by the women.
Yeah, in the half and the full, I think.
Yeah.
I think for both
Perfect.
distances.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great race.
Cool.
And I flew home in a snowstorm.
Yeah, you
It was
made it
that-
home
yeah.
just before,
It was
wasn't it right before?
Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah, that
That's
big storm.
Yep. We flew in to 6 inches of snow, and
Welcome back.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was great.
Yeah, it's good to be able to make it instead of being stuck
I
in
would've
some
been stuck,
airport
yeah.
somewhere
For
for,
3 days.
yeah.
Do you travel much for races? Is that kind of like,
No. I mean, I've done a lot all over. I mean, I've done
yeah.
Buffalo, Houston, Philadelphia, Columbus. So
Yeah.
I don't like that though. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
there's so much that goes into a marathon anyway. I don't really want to travel. also.
Add all that on
Yeah,
top
The
of it.
logistics, yeah, it can be stressful too.
Yeah.
You just got your yellow belt in Hapkido.
Keto.
Am I saying
yeah.
that correctly?
That was right. Yeah.
Can you tell me what that is specifically?
It's Korean self-defense
Okay.
practice. So in Korea, there's no guns, so they have to use their hands to take down prisoners.
Yeah.
But primarily, the reason we got into it was one of my friends is also a runner. She's also a pharmacist, and she was having a guy stalk her because pharmacists have some things that people want. So she
Yeah.
felt uncomfortable, and she said, I really need to take self-defense classes.
Yeah.
So of course Susan says, well, go to Kim's College of Martial Arts and take Hapkido.
Yeah.
So we signed up for a month, only a month.
Uh,
6 months later, I have my yellow belt. So.
ah,
You're into it.
Yellow, only yellow, but it's good.
I mean-
It's the hardest one to get.
that's cool.
I don't have a yellow
Yellow's the hardest
belt.
one to
You
get.
got one? Chad?
I do not.
Yeah.
I don't even have a belt on.
Yeah, so if you grab me on the street, I can kick your ass.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah. I think
Oh
so.
yeah, this is the Wrangler podcast.
Yeah.
We do whatever we want
Okay,
around here.
all right.
Is that what you like about it? Do you feel like
I feel more powerful, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
That-
And
That's
so does
awesome.
Kelsey, the one that got me into it.
That makes
You
sense.
feel
Yeah.
more powerful. You learn to kick and punch and just, the first thing is to escape, get away from an attacker. And then if they come at you again, well then you have to let them know that you're
Yeah.
lost.
Yeah.
So basically it's turning your arm behind your back. So you won't do that again. Okay.
Like submission holds, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
It's
like
fun.
that would be helpful with like the kids and stuff too.
yeah.
If they're not listening, or if I'm
Yeah.
not listening, they can put me down.
Yeah, I'll show you some stuff.
I find martial arts very interesting, and I feel like I've always wanted to get into them, but I just never have.
Yeah.
Do you? I think like Tai Chi and stuff like that is really interesting too, with just the body movements and
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
mechanics. And do you find that there's a piece of that in Hapkido too?
Oh,
Or is it-
yeah.
Yeah.
They do, we do postures and stretching and breathing
Okay.
techniques. like
Yes.
Taking in enough breath, letting out enough breath.
Yeah.
The whole the power comes from the breath, that whole
Hmm.
thing.
I like
It's,
that.
yeah. And
That's
lots of
cool.
movement patterns. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's everything, Hapkido means circles, so everything's in circles.
Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
everything moves in circles.
Yeah, that translates well over into running.
It does,
It's-
yeah. I think it helped us Houston race, because mentally, it gave me mental toughness.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. With
'Cause
like
I knew I could do
mindset
it.
and.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and confidence, just confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
It makes
But I
sense.
did it. It's time consuming. It takes away from my running.
Yeah,
That's the problem. It is. I took one day off from running to do Hapkido.
yeah.
It must be worth it though if you're still doing it, right?
Yeah, it is.
Must be-
It is. Yeah,
Mhm.
I like it. I'm getting stronger all over.
Yeah,
Cool.
it is cool.
Ellen, can we kind of go back to the beginning of your running career? Can you tell us about when you got into running? I think you told me it was in junior high, right?
Yeah. Well, I think I was 11. The boys in the neighborhood were running. They were trying to get in condition for football.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, girls couldn't play football.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were running, and I ran with them around the block. And pretty soon, we would do it every day, and pretty soon I was getting faster and faster. And I felt great, I loved it. And then we went on the golf course, because I grew up, Ridgewood Golf Course was behind my house, so I basically grew up on a Ridgewood Golf Course. So after it was closed and it was dark, we would go run on the golf course.
Oh, cool.
And did you know there's a sport that you basically run on a golf course? It's called cross country. And somebody told me that. And I said, oh my gosh, let me do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were, this girl Patty and I were the first girls on the junior high girls
No
boys
way.
cross country team.
Oh,
The first,
It was 1982
Okay.
maybe.
you and your friend were the only girls on the team.
And we made the girls cross country team.
Wow.
Trailblazers.
I know,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's what started it. And then,
You ran through high school too?
yeah. I got cut from the volleyball team, and I walked out the back door of the volleyball, what's it called, court? And the track coach yelled at me, "You're late! Run!" So I went, all right, so I ran. So when I got home, I was all embarrassed to tell my parents I didn't make the volleyball team, but I made track.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a cinder track too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good old days.
Did you, you had a coach that was kind of impactful too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
In high school?
Yeah, Mr. Degata, yeah. I do believe he's passed, but yeah, he was wonderful. He kept telling us we're not just girls. Yeah. He was great.
Nice.
Yep.
Were there any races that stood out from your high school career?
I wasn't super fast, but my last senior year, last home meet, my father actually got to come. He'd never seen me run ever. So he came and saw me run the 3200 and was amazed and all complimentary. And,
Yeah.
yeah, so that was nice. And then he ended up dying 2 years later, so.
Oh,
Wow.
That was, yeah, it was
Yeah.
meaningful. And it's meaningful to this
Yeah,
day
absolutely.
because,
Sure.
So you run through high school. What happens after high school? And then you start, you got into road racing after that, yeah?
yeah, when I went to
So-
college.
Okay.
You do have to have a degree in physical therapy to practice therapy.
You do?
Not in Grey's Anatomy.
Wait, we
but-
didn't know that.
Grey's Anatomy, you just get it, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I went to college in Buffalo. And I just liked, I mean, I've always loved running. It's just, you know, it's my therapy. So
Yeah.
I was in Buffalo and there was a race that must have been posted on a sign or in a magazine or something, downtown Buffalo. So I got down there. And this is how far races have come. I walked up and I said, I want to run this race. And the guy literally took a piece of notebook paper and wrote 10 on it and gave me some pins and said, pin this to your shirt. And they wrote my name down.
Did
Ellen
you have to give him
Schumacher.
any cash or anything?
$5.
$5.
Cash
Oh my
only.
gosh.
Cash
Yeah.
only.
And then when I
What has
finished,
happened?
I know.
It's like hundreds of dollars
Yeah.
to run a race now.
When I finished the race, I got a long sleeve cotton T-shirt that said Buffalo Half Marathon.
Yeah.
Do you still have that shirt?
I don't. I mean, it's pretty. That was 1987, so it's pretty old.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's.
That's
And then I
awesome.
was, you know, then I was hooked on halves.
How'd you do in that race?
I don't remember. I think it was like under 2 hours or so. But I mean, I ran through the Delaware Park just like the Buffalo Marathon does now. I think it was
Yeah.
like the original Buffalo Marathon.
Oh, wow.
But I just did the half. So.
Yeah.
Nice.
But that was it, yeah. And then my sister, no, I had my first child. And then my sister said, why don't you run a marathon? And I said, 26 miles, are you kidding me? That's so far.
Sure.
And she said, it's not superhuman, you just train a little bit at a time. So then I ran just one for my first child.
Cool.
I don't have 17 children. But no, I kept trying to get into Boston. I'm going to Boston qualify.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not do it. Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah, exactly. So did it stay pretty consistent after that then?
Yeah. I mean, it kept me sane. It keeps me
Yeah.
sane. I just kept running.
Yeah.
And then I would just train for a race.
Nice.
So just keep going.
You have you kind of have like a group of people that you run pretty consistently with, right? Like
Yeah.
you do your long runs on the weekends, or what does that look like?
Yeah. So I coached track for Holy Family for 10 years when
Okay.
my kids were little. And I met these guys, Tim McGrath's, Eric Stanley, Leo Doty, and Ty Beer. And they all coached with them. So I can't remember how we got started, but Saturday morning, I think
Yeah.
I wanted to run a certain speed, and I was running with girls who were slower than me. So they said, come, run with us, and I ran with them. And then it just kind of stuck. Every week we ran through it
Yeah.
all, and we ran through it all. So,
Yeah.
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 It's been 18 years now.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Been
Well,
all of us.
Can you think of any reason that, like, why do you think you and that group have stuck together for 18 years?
Because it started with running, and now we're just friends. You know
Yeah.
that. Now it's about getting together. Like, how are your kids? How are things going? You know, one of the guys we knew before they just got married. They were pregnant, and then they had the baby, and then, you know, like kind of like big sister helped him raise her, or get ready to have her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so his name's Tim McGrath, and he's a guy, but he's also a verb, because we say we're going to meet Saturday morning at 6 a.m., we're going to run 8 miles.
Yeah.
And Tim will say, I'll be there, and then he doesn't show up. And the other guys will say, I'm not sure, I don't want to pull a McGrath, because he won't show up. And it still goes on to this day.
Yeah.
This just happened 2 weeks ago.
Hey,
We're texting him at
stay consistent.
6:08. Tim, where are you? Nah,
Yeah.
I was sleeping.
Crickets.
Yeah. But yeah, we inspire each other, we motivate each other, you know.
That's
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, we're
It's
getting
a
older.
little bit more about the friendships than it is about the running too.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
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 Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Are the kids runners now? A lot
My
of
kids? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Daniel ran inconsistently, but never for school. Michael and Lauren ran for St. B.
Mhm.
And then they are running still. I mean, same
Yeah.
thing, it's a stress reliever, it's something to do, it keeps you in shape.
Sure.
Anti-anxiety.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yep, they run.
Sure.
We all ran the Houston Half Marathon.
Oh,
All of
really?
us and my husband,
Cool.
a few years ago.
Yeah.
It was nice.
All 3 kids?
All 3 kids, yeah.
The
We
same
were all
race?
living in different areas too.
Yeah.
And we all got together for that race in Columbus.
Cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. We have a picture of all 5 of us medals.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
You got into some longer distances. You ran a 50K, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, I did. I signed up for the Buckeye, or it was Run for Regis at the time. It was a winter race.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't really like trail running a whole lot because training, it was winter, so we ran through ice and mud and mud. It was cold and uncomfortable. We were out there for a really long time. And I can't remember the details exactly, but there was a loop that you ran, like 3 miles, 2.7 miles one way, and you went on the towpath and you went up that trail, 2.7 miles.
Uh-huh.
And we just had to keep doing that figure 8 kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then so again, it was a while ago, but we all gathered in this barn, 100 people, and she said go. And when you feel like stopping, you cross the finish line. You can run whatever distance you want.
Oh, it's just like
So
within the time limit, or just whatever you wanted, I guess, probably.
I don't even remember. It's just really chill. She was just, whatever, go. And so I
Let's just see what
ran.
happens.
And I started out with these 3 other girls, and in the end, it was just me.
Yeah.
One twisted her ankle, one slid down an icy hill and slammed her
Whoa.
head into the tree.
Oh.
And one quit because of just pure exhaustion.
Yeah.
It was a bad condition.
That's
But anyway,
Whoa.
when I run that far, I can't think very good after double digits. I just get kind of stupid.
Uh-huh.
So I kept running and running and running, and I thought I was done, but it was only 28 miles. But I crossed the finish line, woo! And you're just supposed to tell them, did you do the half or the full? And I said, full, not knowing that 28 wasn't 31. I did that.
Yeah. What did you think, like, was that your first trail race?
That was my first trail race.
Like-
And my last trail race.
Yeah. Because it must have been a lot different than like a road race that you'd run, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it was way different. It took all day.
Yeah.
I was gone all day.
Right.
I thought, I'll be gone like 2-3 hours. No, you're gone all day.
Whoa.
It was,
It's an all-day event.
Yeah.
didn't know that. The training was all day, but
Yeah.
I didn't know why the race wasn't gonna be all day.
So I have a note here to ask about pooping in the woods. Was that
Yeah.
something that happened during that race?
Yes.
How many times?
Just once. I should say 2, right? No.
I
just once,
mean,
yeah.
that's a trail race. It's
Yeah.
not a
Yeah.
trail race if that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think every trail race I've been in, I've had to poop in the woods. So.
Yeah, okay, good to know. Yeah. That's another reason I really am not crazy about trail
Yeah,
running.
right. One has to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different world. So, Ellen, I think one of the reasons that the Wranglers, one of the reasons we love having you as our PT is because a lot of us could tell you stories about doctors that we went to in the past that didn't know anything about running. Like, they couldn't really advise us as well. So we really appreciate that about you. But can you tell us too, like on your end, like how has being a athlete impacted your professional life?
Yeah.
Being a physical
Well,
therapist.
Yeah, well, I mean, because I know, it takes one to know one. I know you don't want to stop running. And I know that running is an important part of people's lives.
Yeah.
And not running has to be limited. So that's, it takes one to know one. And when you speak about what your problem is, I can say, oh yeah, what stride is it? What part of the stride is it? Where do you feel? And sometimes your answer is, I don't know. And then I can go through the gait analysis and say, that's what you're doing wrong. That's when you feel it. Okay. But I think, just knowing the sport helps know what the patient's thinking and the patient wants.
Yeah. I think we like that you don't just put us in a boot whenever we have an injury.
Yeah.
You tell us to stop running for 8 weeks. Maybe that's why we like
Throw a
it.
brace on it.
Yeah.
Sit it out for 6 weeks.
No, never, no.
Yeah. Rest, ice,
Yeah.
compression,
Yeah.
elevation, right? Just
For a day.
for a day. Yeah. So you mentioned too just about how we don't really want to stop running, right? Like whatever we can do to
Yeah.
not stop running. So I imagine you've gotten pretty good at like coaching people through injuries and stuff too. Like how much of that is your job too, is like just talking to people who are sidelined from what they love doing.
Yeah. A lot of it, I like to say that therapy is in the name,
Right, yeah.
Yeah, because people run for different reasons, you know. And sometimes you have to remind them this is a very short period of time in your life. I'm asking you to back down for 2 weeks. No long runs for 2 weeks. You can do it. It's not gonna change your training all that much. Frequently we'll encounter somebody right before Akron that wants to run Akron, they have an injury, and they'll say, I can't stop running. Yes, you can. You can stop for just a couple days.
You actually can.
Yeah, and your condition really doesn't change that much.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I had COVID before I ran the half in Houston. I took a long break, 7 days, and I ran great. It felt great. So sometimes a break is helpful.
It is.
Yeah.
I noticed that too.
Yeah, that's what I try to remind y'all that you can take a little time off. You're okay. You'll get back at it. It's a short
Words of
period of
wisdom.
time. Yeah.
I think as an athlete and someone, as we all just genuinely enjoy running, like the thought of not doing it is what's like overwhelming. And so you even to hear, well, 2 days, I don't want you to do anything. You're like, oh God, 2 days, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's like the thing we look forward to, right?
Yeah.
So to not be able to do it, it's hard.
Yeah, I do understand that.
Yeah.
It's what you do to keep yourself calm. It's what you do to keep yourself happy.
And you're always so good about guiding us through. I mean, just from personal experience,
Thanks,
guiding us through those moments of the unknown. Like, you're gonna be fine. Just chill for a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll get you back.
Yeah,
out
that's
there.
true. The experience I have with dealing with runners, I know.
Right.
That you're gonna
Calm
be
down.
okay.
You're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
So, what would you say is like the most rewarding part then of being a PT?
Absolutely. When somebody comes in with this problem, they have this problem. I can't solve this problem, and we take it and go, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
We can do this. And this is how. And they spell it all out, and then they go from this like to brightened like really. I'm gonna get better, and their whole body changes, their whole life changes, and then they're all happy. Yeah. And then when it happens, of course,
And then it happens.
things, then
Right.
they're all thankful too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just watching people get better.
Watching people get better.
And I also like we both get all excited when someone is telling you what's wrong, and you're like, I know the answer.
You're like,
I know how to fix this.
exactly
Yeah.
what that is, yeah.
I have this unique set of skills that I
Yeah.
can fix that.
Yeah.
Well, again, I mean, I will toot your horn all day. Like, you guys, the diagnostic that you do down there, like, you figure it out. You're so good at taking what's being presented to you and, getting that all in, processing that. And like you said, sometimes you're like, I know exactly what that is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't come as quickly, but
Right.
it does come.
Right,
Like, I've
right.
always
Yeah.
seen it come, and it's, you guys are very good at that.
Thank you. Yeah, if I can't figure it out, Susan will.
Yeah.
Or we'll banter it back and forth until we get to the
Yeah.
bottom of it.
Yeah, it usually is some kind of like different root cause that is not exactly where it's presenting. Like the pain maybe is presenting in one place, but you figure out that it's because of a muscle imbalance, probably a glute muscle imbalance.
Right. Yes.
At least for me, that's always
Yeah.
my problem.
Well,
so.
with Larry, it's always his big head. Every time.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too about On Point is that you come for one body part. If you come for your ankle,
Yeah.
we can treat other body parts. It doesn't have to just be the ankle. Where other clinics, the diagnosis code is this, and that's what you have to stick with.
Yeah.
We can do all the way up the chain and sometimes the other side of the body.
Oh, we don't go above the knee. That's where we stop treating. So.
Yeah. That's, the diagnosis code is only for this.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I've been stabbed just about everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Stuck with a needle.
Stuck with a needle.
Achieve a therapeutic result.
That's exactly what it is.
Yes. Do you have any particular patient stories that stick out to you throughout your career?
Yeah, I do. I had a lady who was, she was a bus driver and
Okay.
she was a runner.
Yeah.
And she was in the bus yard at 5 o'clock in the morning, and a new bus driver backed over her, backed into her, hit her, ran her over with the back wheels, realized she hit something, and forward and ran her over again. Totally ripped up her legs, crushed her femurs, ripped open her femoral artery.
Oh my God.
She tells a story that she realized that there was something squirting out of her leg, and she covered it up with her hand and thought, oh, this is the end of my life. Anyway, I met her, obviously she lived. But so I rehabbed her for probably 3 years. Surgery,
Wow.
rehab, surgery, rehab, surgery, rehab. So finally she quit being a bus driver. But she went back to running. It wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
She looked horrible running. Like, one of those people that you see running in races, you're like, how are you doing that?
Yeah.
She was one of those people.
Huh.
So she did end up running. And then she went back and got her postal workers. So she's now a postal carrier. So she
Oh,
walks
wow.
around.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's on her feet all day.
Yeah, just on her feet all day. Yeah. Just
That is
amazing
remarkable.
And I would treat her after surgery, and she was in so much pain, and I would go home and I would just run and cry
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
her situation because it was just so sad. I was like, I'm not sure she's going to make it through to
Yeah.
life, let alone that we'll get back to running. But
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah,
Man.
that was great. That's why we do what we do.
Yes. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah, like the beginning of that 3-year process, I mean, you didn't know you were going to get her back to running, right? So
Nope.
there's probably a
No,
lot
in
of...
fact, I was thinking, nope. You might walk normal at one time,
Yeah.
but there's no way
That
you're
is
gonna.
incredible. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had metal in her leg. She had surgery after surgery. Yeah.
It's a great story.
Yeah.
All right, so be honest here. Have you ever continued running through a time where maybe you shouldn't have?
Yeah. yeah. This is when I learned about the power of gluteus medius.
yeah.
I had this horrible stabbing pain in the side of my knee.
Uh-huh.
Somebody was jabbing me with this knife over and over.
Yeah.
At mile 17, it got really bad. At mile 20, it went away.
Oh, yeah.
But so does my mind,
Yeah.
before I
Right.
just, But anyway, I researched it, and I did the foam roller, and I did all this thing, I was stretching, all that stuff. And finally I realized that the reason that is there is because the IT band is connected to the glute med, and the glute med is the most important thing to strengthen. So I strengthened the glute med, and I got rid of that pain. But I did run through it. I mean,
Yeah.
I ran lots of long runs through that pain.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long did that bother you before you figured that out?
Probably 2 months.
2 months.
Yeah. I was a young PT. I didn't know what I was doing yet. That's one of the early marathons.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I guess switching gears again, you battled breast cancer and surgery, chemo, radiation. Can you kind of talk us through a little bit of that period of your life and how that affected you just overall? I mean, that's a huge thing to go through in life, and specifically with your running and
Yeah. I mean, the running helped me through most of it. When I was first diagnosed, I mean, first of all, they told me I had breast cancer, and I said, "Shut up!"
Yeah.
I was telling all the doctors, "Shut up! I am a perfect specimen. I'm a marathon runner. I eat well. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?"
Yeah.
So that was shocking in itself. But
yeah.
Of course.
yeah, I mean, I had chemo, so when I was going through the chemo, there were days where I couldn't even get out of bed, so I wasn't running. So I would go through downtime, wasn't working, and then I would get better for 7 days, I could go back to work, and therefore I could walk. So my husband and I would walk. Sometimes we were like, right behind my house we have a bike path, and he would say, "Oh, you made it to the bike path, you made it to the bridge, yay." It was like
Yeah.
small, it was just walking, and really slow. But, so I made it through the chemo. Chemo accumulates, so I got worse and worse as far as strength goes, those 6 months.
Did that we might have got some insider information from your friend Susan Musturzo.
Uh-huh.
She said something about that chemo medicine that was most effective. Like you were maybe allergic to it too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was
You
fun,
still
too.
kept taking it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it-
Yeah. Yes, well, it was the third of 6 major chemos, and I was having an allergic reaction, and they said stop it. And I said, no, I can do it. I can do
handle
it.
it.
It's fine. It's
I
fine.
can
I'll
take
just
more.
keep making it. And she's like, no, we're gonna stop it. So I didn't get the last 2, but I kept every
Oh.
time my husband and I went back to the doctor, I was like, can I just get the Progetta again? Because I think it's working.
You
He's
sound
like,
like
"No."
a runner.
And I'll
Yeah.
tell you. Yeah,
You can't hurt me.
yeah.
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I had double mastectomy, and then I ran through most of that. I think I took 2
Wow.
weeks off and ran. So I started running because I was getting stronger from the chemo, and I
Yeah.
could do it.
Yeah.
And then radiation started. Radiation also accumulates your fatigue, so I was fine, and I got back to running. And then as the weeks went on, I got worse and worse and worse. But of course, I had a goal of the Strongville Fall Classic, the Cleveland West Roadrunners Club Fall
Okay.
Classic
Yeah.
in November. So I had to start to train because I had to do that race. I was
Sure.
doing it with my brother Paul.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I kept running through that. But then, so I finished radiation.
That's badass. Like,
Yeah.
let's just say you're kind of a badass, Alan.
Coming from you. So I did the radiation in August, and then I started training seriously in October. And I kept having, every time I would run hard, I kept having this left-sided chest pain, goes down my shoulder and up to my neck. That's not good. That sounds like a heart attack.
That's super scary. Yeah.
So I went to the doctor. I went to the cardiologist at SUMA. And they said, you have a blockage somewhere, you have angina, take these beta blockers and nitro on your tongue and have a nice day and stop running.
What?
And I said, okay. And I went home.
You said, shut up.
I went home and I ran.
Shut up. I went home and I ran to think about it. I had to think about it. I had to run to think about it. So I ran. And as I was running on the bike path behind my house, you guys know Nilesh Shah, right? He was running from his house in Monroe Falls, same direction.
Okay.
So we coincidentally met up there. And he said, hey, I've been wondering how you're doing, because they supported me through the chemo, and he knew me from, work and the Akron Marathon. Finished that, we volunteered to go. So I told him my story, and I said, they said I couldn't run. So it's like, bet you're out here running. So he's like, okay, so this we're going to do, you're going to see Ted Schaub, S-H-A-U-B.
Okay.
And go to him, and he will help you, because we also put on a sports medicine symposium every year, and he talked at it once. I said, oh yeah, I remember him. So I went to him. He brought my husband and I up to the screen. He showed me, you've got burns on your coronary arteries. So instead of them being like this, they're basically burned on the side they're flat. So the blood doesn't go through as fast when you pump hard. So you're gonna get chest pain. So my advice is, run, see what happens.
Yeah.
Don't be stupid, take the nitro with you, but don't take the beta blockers, because the beta blockers will give me headaches.
Yeah.
Like, because they dilate your brain, basically.
Wow.
So I would get headaches, and then you couldn't see because you're so sensitive. So he was right. I just progressively ran more and more and more, and if I run up a hill or too hard, I get chest pain. Goes down my arm, goes up my neck. I have to stop and walk, and that every day got a little better. But still, I have it still. So that's because they're burns. They're not.
Yeah.
It's not like you can make it stronger. It's just burned tissue. But yeah, it affected me. But I did get back to it. So I ran that spring, the fall classic, with my brother and we're running partners. Tim and Stan.
That's cool.
Yeah, Todd.
It's interesting how, like, the right people seem to come into your life when you need it. And,
Yes.
I mean, to run into
Nilesh.
to hear of Schaub, and that's so wild.
I know, that's what I thought too. Like,
Right?
Here I am running, guilty.
So,
And then there he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was the right thing to do, right?
Yeah,
Because you saw him
exactly.
out there, and he gave you
Yeah.
the right directions
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
you back to running.
They all give me the disclaimer, if it gets too bad,
Sure.
take the nitro, which I can't tell you what it is. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's been 7 years now, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've been running races
Yeah.
all along. So.
And you change as you age anyway. It's more about running than your time.
Yeah.
Although the time never goes away, but.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think Chad's right. That story definitely. I remember when I first heard that story, I already thought you were a badass before I heard the story. But I do remember the first time he told me, I probably had a bunch of needles stabbed in my leg, and I was like, man, that one is so cool. Like, that is such a crazy story. And it made me respect you even more that you went through all that. So
I just love running. I mean, you hear your own breath, and it's nature, and you're moving your body, and I bet it just helps me so much. It's so much a part of, like, it's who I am.
Yeah.
That I can't give it up just because of a little chest pain.
Yeah. Yeah. Say more about that. You said it's who, running is who you are and how important it is to you. I mean, what else do you get out of the running community and doing races and all of those things? Is there anything else?
I mean, the running community means a lot to me. I've met a lot of people through the years. I find some of their stories inspirational also. I've met lots of women who couldn't run for one reason or another and start running, weight loss or whatever, and they're inspirational too. But one of my favorite things about the running community, and this makes people who don't know it laugh, but you never have you're never alone in a line for a porta potty. You always can make friends. Runners
Yeah.
are the nicest people. They're the
Yeah.
kindest people. Look how many charities there are just from runners. Runners
Yeah.
support so many things. They're just such kind people.
Yeah.
If you ask anybody for anything in a race, they'll give it to you. You know, if you have an extra goo or whatever, they'll give it to you. They're just so nice. And when you're running a race and you start talking to somebody, I've met so
Yeah.
many people running races too.
Yeah.
Like, this is great. But yeah, I love running.
Yeah.
And I hope it's always part of my life. That's, you know.
Speaking the language, I think all that makes so much sense. And I don't know whether you're out there by yourself sometimes and just being thankful for your legs and that you
Mhm.
can be moving and hearing your breath and just kind of feeling that. I mean, everybody talks about this flow, or a lot of people talk about this flow.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something to that. And all the good juices are going, and like you're just kind of in that zone. And it doesn't have to be like a super long hard run or you know, hitting a certain time. It's just
Yeah.
being there.
Yeah,
you know,
just
and
being there, yeah.
being present, and then enjoying that. And for me, like I find that just solo sometimes, or with you know, groups of people, and just
Yeah.
sharing that energy with people.
Yeah, yeah.
Super fun, super cool.
Yeah. You're
And
all
they are
close.
like the nicest people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the type of person that subjectively puts themselves like through that
Mhm.
consistently. The same people who keep coming back for more and more races are like some of the best people I've ever met. Like,
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to have a certain kind of mindset to kind of put yourself through something difficult like that over and over again, and find the reward in it, right? And get that what we're all looking for when we're out running. You get that through some adversity usually.
Yep.
Not through like, it's great to have those easy runs that it just feels really easy and everything goes right, but having those challenging runs or where there's unexpected obstacles and you overcome it, there's something about that too. So
for sure.
yeah, so people who can do that are usually people with pretty positive mindsets. And
I mean, the Wranglers are obviously big fans of On Point. I don't even know if I'd be running right now if I didn't find you guys.
Yeah.
You know, and I you know, have been pretty injury free for the most part, but those ones that do pop up and you're like needing some assistance, but even just maintenance, like I will often going into some races just I feel like I need a tune up, you know, and I'll go in and you'll take care of business, and it's always so good. But so the Wranglers highly recommend On Point Physical Therapy. And if Ellen has anything she would like to add about their wonderful services.
Well, I mean, I think the reason we do well with runners and all athletes is because we don't let you just say don't stop running, like we were saying before. But also, we can treat lots of other kinds of body parts. And like you said, if runners know when something's not feeling right, you can say, can you stick a needle in this? Can you check this? Can you check this? Can you check this? And we don't go, you know, we love it because we would rather have you take care of it than get an injury. So, we love all kinds of athletes. And I think the reason people come to On Point is because there's a certain energy in the place. And you saw it, the magic of On Point.
Yeah.
Two people who totally different situations find something in common and have a conversation about it. You know, like, how would I ever put these people together?
Right.
You know? It's just, and they inspire each other, and you feel better about your life in general.
It's a community there. I mean, it really is. It feels that way. 100%.
And we get so much of our business word of mouth. People just tell each other.
Of course,
Because it's a rare, place to
That's
be
the
treated.
best kind of business. I mean, if I don't like it, I'm not going to tell somebody about it. You know,
Right,
if it's not
yeah.
effective, I'm not going to tell somebody about it. It's very effective. Yeah. So thank you guys for everything that you do. Yeah.
Thanks for getting hurt.
Oh, and you and your husband have a real estate business too. Do you want to plug that? I know you and your husband sponsored the North Hill 5K.
Woo!
Registration's
North Hill 5K.
open.
Yeah.
Get on there, sign up.
That is one of the best 5Ks I've ever run. It was just so much fun. That was such a great run. The whole community is so fabulous. But yeah, my husband is actually the real estate business. ShowMeTheKeys.com. That's the website.
Okay.
If you want to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. And we invest in real estate,
Mm-hmm.
fix them up, and then rent them to people in North Hill, which is why we sponsor
Oh,
the race.
cool, yeah.
Because we love the community in North Hill.
Awesome.
It's a great race.
Yeah.
Showmethekeys.com.
Yeah.
Showmethekeys.com. Okay. All right.
I think it's time for the rapid roundup portion of the
Yeah.
Wrangler podcast.
I have to talk fast.
This is where
Yeah.
it gets
Okay,
intense.
all right.
I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
like, I'm sweating already thinking about this. So we're gonna fire off about a dozen questions, and we're just
Mhm.
gonna, first thing you think of, no time to think, you just boom, shout out an answer.
Okay.
And we're gonna
Alright.
see how this goes.
You ready?
The
I'm
clock
ready.
starts now.
Okay.
What are your go-to shoes?
Saucony, loyal to the sport.
All right. What's your favorite pre-race meal?
Oatmeal,
Music or no music?
music.
Top 3 running songs.
Bob Seger. Wait, no, I can't remember who sings it. The Fire Inside. Is that Bob Seger?
Mm-hmm.
J.D. Iker sings a song called "Not Everybody Runs,"
Mm-hmm.
which you would think is not
Yeah.
right, but it's really good. And only the young, something like that, from Journey.
Oh, yeah.
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 Love Journey.
It's great for them.
All right. So, what's your favorite Akron running spot?
Akron? Can I
Or-
say Ravenna?
You can say Ravenna.
Any bike path, actually, any bike path in the area,
Cool.
because they're all
Bike
great. Yeah.
paths.
Yeah.
Favorite race?
The Presque Isle Marathon,
Mm-hmm.
because well, it used to be anyway. I don't like big races. I've discovered, but it used to be a very low key. It's 2 laps around Presque Isle,
Yeah.
and you can do a half or a full, and it's just really low key and
Yeah.
just about running. I like
Yeah.
things that are just about running.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The
that's my
North Hill
favorite.
5K is a close
And the North Hill
second.
5K. North Hill 5K.
Longest distance.
28 miles.
28 miles to the Buckeye. Yeah.
Not 31.
Favorite sports movie, or what gets you pumped? Do you have something that gets you jacked for a race or something?
No, it's usually listening to music, but
Yeah.
Rocky is a sports movie. That gets you
Oh,
pumped
yeah.
up, right?
Yeah.
But, yeah. That's it.
Favorite Wrangler.
Whatever one has the most godlike behavior on that day.
It could be any Wrangler. Wrangler with the best calves.
Best or tightest?
Best.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Tightest? Richards.
Richard.
Kevin Richards.
We're working on those.
How many Wranglers butt cheeks have you seen?
We got cheeks or together as one unit?
Interpret it however you want.
8.
8.
8 cheeks. All of them. Ooh, Wrangler with the tightest hip flexors.
Larry.
Larry. I knew it.
Most frequently injured Wrangler.
Larry.
It bounced a quarter off that. One thing, or what is one thing that do all runners need to do more of? Or
You guys should know the answer to this question.
I mean, let's tell the people out there.
Yeah,
Okay.
for all the viewers.
Gluteus medius strengthening.
GM, folks, you heard it here.
Buns of steel.
Buns of steel. That's how you stay
Yeah.
injury free.
And hip flexor stretching. But
Yeah.
one thing would be glute medius strengthening.
Strengthen the glute.
We need to make Larry a t-shirt
Yeah.
that he can wear around since he's got the tight flexors.
Yeah. And for the
Buns of
glute
steel.
med, that would be like a side plank, anything to
Yeah, do we have any free advice we could give some folks? Like what could they be doing at home to?
Clamshells.
Lay on your side. Clamshells are kind of too easy.
Okay.
But laying on your side, lifting your leg up in the air.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Resistance band work is good
Resistance
too.
band, standing and doing a resistance band.
Cool.
But stretching your IT band will not make your IT band pain go away. Gluteus medius.
Got
But
it.
yeah, you can YouTube gluteus medius strengthening and they
Yeah.
really have a lot on there.
All right. Cool.
Or come down point. I should say
Yeah.
come down
Or come down point. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we really appreciate you being here, Ellen. So we got a Wrangler's goodie bag for you that we wanted to present you
Oh, look, it's
with.
got the little lawnmower on
The
it.
little lawnmower drawn by Lindsay Joe Scott.
The Wrangler
The
way.
original one.
Hat.
Look at
Yeah.
Aw, a real
Professional
hat.
gear.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you bend this or is that not?
That's up to you. I think it's cool to have it
Whatever
flat.
you want.
Okay.
Chad has the flat brim, which is cool.
This is a flat
See
hat.
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
just in case I need to set something up there.
I think there's something else in there too.
Our Wranglers.
Oh.
It's a magnet.
Magnet, yes.
Yeah.
A bumper sticker.
Yeah, so you can put it on your car,
Thank
and you can
you.
take it off
Car
of your
that,
car,
refrigerator.
put it on the fridge, hang it up at On Point.
It might come
No,
on
it
there.
doesn't. All right. I'll hang it up at that point, yeah.
Cool.
Ellen, thank you for coming in. We
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
Yeah, thank you, it was fun. Yeah. Thanks
Yeah.
for the gifties.
Mm-hmm.
You are quite welcome. Is there anyone you want to poke with a needle before you leave, or?
No, I brought no needle.
No needles.
You don't travel with those?
No,
Good.
no. Yeah, thanks, this is fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Brad, who do we have on the next episode?
Yeah, so for the next episode, we have Anthony Velasco from the Trail Enthusiasts. So some of our Wranglers run with Anthony. We have Adam Alexander, Adil Orphy. They run with those guys. They love them. So we're going to hear all about the Trail Enthusiasts on the next episode.
It's going to be a good one. Episode 3 coming at you.
Wow.
All right, we did it.
Bye.
Yay!